Morning, well, afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another preview slash podcast. Welcome back to the SW6 Cast, bringing you episode 2 of season 2. And I'm joined today by Mr. Matt Ball, a co-host of mine from the Euros streams. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been an interesting day of Premier League football so far. Manchester United actually getting a win. Liverpool losing thanks to Callum Hudson-Odoi, my arch nemesis. Ipswich getting a draw against Brighton and some other interesting results. And looking forward to Chelsea hopefully getting a win and not ruining my weekend.
Absolutely. I literally put on Twitter, look, as much as I want to laugh at Liverpool, I just want to keep I want to keep it low, saying, you know what, we could lose later today. So I don't want to say anything that looks silly.
Wait before we can officially celebrate.
I wish most fans were like you and me, you know.
Unfortunately, fans aren't.
Like, basically, I see a lot of Arsenal fans calling up Liverpool. And I'm like, you better win that North London derby.
Especially because half their team's bloody missing.
Otherwise, they're going to look very silly.
The fact that half their team's missing, I wouldn't be so confident. But there you go.
You know how confident these Gooners are? I'm hearing 5-0 wins from them.
I mean, they're not going to win the league, so it doesn't matter.
Do they not scare you this time round, though? Third time lucky.
I'm sorry. Haaland was very close to getting 3 hat-tricks in a row. Back-to-back-to-back hat-tricks. I'm not scared of Arsenal while Man City are in frightening form. Haaland's literally single-handedly destroyed every team that he's played against except Chelsea, which does give me a little bit positive now, watching how everyone else has collapsed against City, that actually it makes our result look a little bit better.
We still lost to them though, Matt.
Yeah, no, that's not the point. On the first day of the season, when you're in a new system, and it's not like City just embarrassed us. It was not bad. It was not a dreadful game. There was mistakes to be made, and of course, their mistakes were punished. But it wasn't like we were completely smashed apart. I see you're eating, so I'll carry on. But yeah, Arsenal. It won't matter if Arsenal. I don't care if Arsenal finish second. Second is first loser for me. So for them to have Arsenal second is just slot ball as a right.
Personally, I hate. Look, my second most hated team in the Premier League is Man United, and so I don't really. So I couldn't really care less if Liverpool do anything this season, so long as they don't beat us.
Liverpool aren't going to do anything this season.
You don't think they're gonna win like a Carabao?
Maybe anyone can win a Carabao. I mean, we've nearly done it multiple times.
Yeah, and every time we lost was against the very team we mentioned.
No, but when I say people are going to do something, I mean like Champions League, maybe FA Cup at a stretch. Or some sort of Europe. Liverpool are not going to do anything significant. I mean, I haven't watched much of Liverpool. The only game that I've watched was the Ipswich Liverpool game, and in that first half, Ipswich Town took Liverpool to the cleaners.
You should have watched Liverpool.
Arguably, for 58 minutes, they took Liverpool to the cleaners and then just run out of gas because they hadn't made some of their signings yet. And then Liverpool took just overdone them for about a 10-15 minute period. But Liverpool weren't all that, so I don't see what people are going on about. I mean, I'm not. The teams I've been impressed with is Brighton, Ipswich for not in terms of Ipswich are going to win the league, but considering everyone thinks Ipswich are going to finish 20th, I think the fact that they had Liverpool and City in their first two games and come out of that with a bit of pride that they went 1-0 up against City and then collapsed for about 5-10 minutes and took Liverpool for 60th minute going hammer to toe, got a draw against Fulham that they should have won, and now got a draw against Brighton. I think they are. I would make the bold prediction that they are safe 4 games into the season.
Ipswich.
Unless my caveat would be if McKenna gets pinched by someone.
He's not going anywhere mid-season.
Oh, you never know. You never know, something crazy happens. I don't discount that if Ten Hag gets sacked, Man United won't go in again.
They have a tailor-made replacement for him as their shooting coach.
Yeah, Van Nistelrooy isn't going to take it full time.
Do you think it ends up being Oli 2.0 if he ends up taking it full time?
Who, McKenna or Van Nistelrooy?
Van Nistelrooy.
Well, Van Nistelrooy's never managed a team, if by my knowledge, so probably yes.
I think he managed an Eredivisie team and won the league with them.
He didn't manage final, did he? That was Slot, wasn't it?
No, I think it was PSV.
Oh, it might have been. Oh yeah, he coached PSV.
No, I am. Look, I've said this so many times. I am not going to be manager out all season. Unless he has us in a legitimate relegation battle. Yes, Vaughan. I do. Yeah, unless he has us in a legitimate relegation battle, then I'm not going. Then I'm going to be manager out.
Who, in terms of Maresca?
Yeah. Are you going to be manager out at any point in the season, Enzo Maresca?
If we're in the relegation zone, yes. If we're ridiculously small, like if we're playing ridiculous, then yes, potentially. But it would be catastrophic to sack Enzo after what we've. I mean, I've told you guys before. I wanted to keep Poch. That didn't happen. I wasn't that enthusiastic for Maresca, but you've got to give him a good period of time to prove me wrong or to let him hang himself. Theoretically, not literally.
Where do you think we finish this? I said we would finish 7th.
No, I said we'd finish 5th.
But then you also said you didn't want Maresca as your first choice. So I thought you'd be a bit skeptical going into this season.
No, because I look at the fact that we finished 6th with all them injuries that we had. If we can keep at least 50, if we can keep half the amount of injuries away, with the additions that we've made, I still think we can get top 5. Whether that is a Champions League place or not is another question. I hope it is, but you never know. But I think we have enough. Whether Enzo is the one or not is a different question.
By the way, I'm not going to say it on here, but check your WhatsApp. and just say what you think in the private chat, since it's just you and me. All right. Just reply in the WhatsApp. Don't say anything in the private chat. Did you see it?
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the football, I think you look at teams like I don't think Aston Villa will be as strong this season because obviously they've got to cope with Champions League football. I think Tottenham are going to get found out a little bit again, so I don't think they're going to be as strong. I'm still under the impression that I do not think Liverpool will be as strong. I think Man United...
a bit of a shout box, I'm not going to lie.
Huh?
5th and 6th sound more reasonable than 4th.
Yeah, I don't think 4th. I think it will be Man City top, Arsenal second, Liverpool a very distant 3rd, and probably maybe Newcastle 4th, maybe Aston Villa 4th. One of them two. I think we get 5th. I think you see Brighton, someone like that coming up. I think Man United you see in 9th place.
Man United in 9th. Wow.
I don't who I can name 8 teams that will finish above them. Easy.
Wow.
City, hold on. City, Arsenal. But let's go through them and you say yes or no if they'll finish above them. City.
We'll see. This problem. We are in a title charge. Let's see.
Okay. But I guess let's go through the snippet. City, yes or no?
Yep, definitely.
Arsenal, yes or no?
Yes. I hate them.
Liverpool?
Huh?
Liverpool, yes or no?
Yep.
Newcastle, yes or no? Aston Villa, yes or no?
But slightly leaning towards yes. Because
Tottenham, yes or no?
Yes.
Chelsea, yes or no?
Yes.
That's 7 already.
But
Chelsea, that's not even including Brighton, who are currently unbeaten at the moment.
I think Man United finish above Brighton.
Right. So,
I still think Ten Hag is a better manager than Fabian Hustler.
But managers don't mean anything. Managers don't mean it's not. A manager isn't everything.
It is to Aston Villa.
It is to Aston Villa. Or it is to Aston Villa when you've got someone like Emery. But Man United's squad is just awful.
Well, they have.
It is terrible. It is terrible. I mean, look at the signings they've made this summer.
They have some good players. I mean,
you've got Lenny Yoro that has now got himself injured for 3 months, so that was a pointless signing. You've got Matthias de Ligt, who has single-handedly failed everywhere he's been outside the Dutch league, just like Ten Hag.
You know he scored today.
Yeah, so he scored a goal. Well done, but he's been crap the rest of the time. You've got that rejects from Bayern Munich. The Mazraoui just looks meh at best. They've signed Agate, who's been at PSG once, and PSG thought, yeah, we don't mind selling him because he's not all that. And PSG weren't very good last season.
How many times have PSG done that and had egg on their face? Look at Thiago Silva.
Well, no, Thiago Silva just wanted to leave. That was the difference. He was offered a new deal.
And also Kylian Mbappe.
Well, again, it's not like PSG didn't want to keep him. PSG didn't go, oh, Mbappe's a flop, I'm going to sell him.
Another one.
Yeah, but PSG sold Nkunku to get... Let me see when they sold Nkunku. I remember it was when they sold Nkunku to get someone else. Yes. Sorry. I'm currently watching the Club Brugge game on my phone at the moment. They just scored. So.
No worries. Anyway, I want your thoughts. I really don't know what to think about this whole Boehly versus Eghbali thing. Who's going to buy out Clear Lake? Personally, I think both of them will stay.
I think it's something that's not going to get sorted anytime soon. Because neither want to leave at all.
It's getting toxic if both of them stay anyway, though.
I'd argue. I think this has been going on. For over a year, but we only hear about it now because it was conveniently transfer window over, international break. They have nothing to talk about Chelsea in a negative way, so boom.
Hey, why not?
I'm telling you,
for a change.
Nippin. Do you want to know where this started?
Yeah, go on.
When they got rid of Christopher Vivell. Because Vivell was Todd Boehly's man. And remember what they said to the papers? They said that Boehly wanted a structure where they had one sporting director as the controller and then the structure feeding down, whereas Eghbali wanted two people feeding up to him. Vivell was Boehly's man to be at the top and the structure goes down. Eghbali got rid of Vivell and had Vinstanley and Stewart as his two little minions that feed up to him. That's where the disagreement started. And that's when Boehly kind of got phased out.
So do you think Eghbali is the biggest issue at Chelsea Football Club?
I don't think either. I mean, people talk about this kind of is it Boehly or Eghbali is an issue? I mean, you don't know. You don't know who's actually sanctioning these things. You can only tell by journalists who are mostly wrong, liars anyway. So you can't really tell this.
Anyway, yeah, I wish we could. I mean, there's a lot of things I have to say about, because a lot of people are saying like, oh, buy their team Todd Boehly because he wants to win now, whereas Eghbali is just like for the long term.
Can we go back to the Nkunku thing?
Yeah, go on.
Do you know why they sold Nkunku?
Why?
Because they spent 180 million on Mbappe the year before and they needed financial fair play. Sort it out. They also sold Moussa Diaby at that point as well in the same summer.
Was Nkunku not a academy? Was he not from their academy though?
So was Moussa Diaby.
Wait, is that the same Moussa Diaby who now
Bayer Leverkusen, Aston Villa, now gone to Saudi?
Wow, I thought they were two different Moussa.
They sold them both in the same season, but they had to sell them because you can't spend 100. This is the point. You cannot spend 180 million pounds. You have to sell people, and unfortunately, who would you prefer, Nkunku or Mbappe?
Obviously, the latter.
Yeah, so that's when it's like, oh, PSG sold Nkunku. Well, they have to sell someone. They can't. You can't just go around selling all your bums because you're not going to get enough money for it. You can't just sell your Hudson-Odois to make that a financial fair play because it's not.
I never actually asked you your thoughts on us selling Conor Gallagher to Atletico Madrid, because a lot of people are saying he was treated really badly. Personally, I think he didn't want to renew his deal.
I think exactly the same. I think there's nothing more. People are overblowing this completely. It's nothing more than both parties just saw differences in terms of the role at the club. Conor Gallagher wanted to be a starter. Chelsea, I think, would be happy to have kept Conor Gallagher in a squad role, coming on as a sub to bring some energy to the game, which just makes sense. This is how I always expected to see Conor Gallagher. Unfortunately, Conor Gallagher wanted to be a starter and therefore wanted starting player wages, which Chelsea were not willing to offer because they see him as a squad player. So when you've got that, it's the simple thing of if you can't agree and you've got fundamental differences, you have to part ways. And that simply is what has happened. Obviously, it took longer than expected, and therefore it meant that for training reasons and for training drill reasons, people had to be separated. The fact that people will go on like, oh my God, these players are being so disrespected. They're on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. They're not being disrespected. How dare you say that when there's so many people struggling with work stuff and having to go on strikes to fucking get just a half decent wage? These footballers are pampered, are the most pampered people on the fucking planet. They're not being treated terribly. It's ridiculous. It's foolish, and it's borderline melodramatic with these people that say that these footballers are treated. The PFA are a bunch of fucking losers. How can you? There's this. If Chelsea stopped paying Gallagher, then that would be a problem. He's getting paid to do fuck all. I wouldn't mind doing that, to be honest. If you were saying to me, you've got to train on your own, but we're still going to pay you your money that you're earning, that's sweet, fine, no problem. And eventually he got his move, so it's not a problem. If Chelsea just said, oh, we're going to keep you here for 3 years, you're never going to play again, but we're not going to sell you, that's a bit different. That's a slightly different. But they've sold him, and it just took time. It took a bit more time because deals fell through and whatever. And obviously Chelsea had the idea that they didn't want to sell to another Premier League club because you don't want to strengthen someone, which is logic. If we went and sold Gallagher earlier in the summer to Aston Villa or Tottenham, these same fans saying that Gallagher's been disrespected would have gone, oh, why have you sold Gallagher to an English club? Strengthening another team. So these people you can't win.
Look, it's mainly... I don't know, I hate using this word, but I'm going to anyway. It's mainly the Cobhamistas who are doing this.
No, yeah, it is.
Huh?
It is, because they just think that Cobham is the Holy Land.
Yeah. They were
It's
angry
not.
with they were angry with Chalobah as well, and with Tomori.
I mean, I wanted Tomori to stay. I thought Lampard, who ironically was all the Cobhanistas' favourite man on the planet, Lampard was foolish in selling Tomori. That is the one that I always make the point with Cobham. I'm happy to promote the best of the best, but if you're not the best of the best, the goal of the academy is to provide a pathway for these players, whether that's at Chelsea Football Club or somewhere else. Chelsea's academy is the best place at giving players pathways to first team football. It might not be Chelsea Football Club, but look how many nearly every bloody Premier League team has one of our academy products in it. There's so many of our academy products that play across the country. Huh?
Callum Hudson-Odoi, for example.
Yeah, Mark Gay.
Mm-hmm. But wasn't there any rumours that
Lewis Hall, Livramento at Newcastle.
Oh, speaking
Ian
of
Matson at Aston Villa. I could go on. Billy Gilmour was at Brighton. That's the thing. I don't think I've seen a football club's academy have such a big success rate in terms of finding their own talents, pathways into other first team football. And when I say first team football, I mean quality first team football. The problem is these Cobhamistas just want to have a Cobham FC, and because they're all proper Chelsea, which some of them are and some of them aren't. I mean, Mason Mount went to Man United and said that it's his dream to play at Man United, so I wouldn't call that proper Chelsea, and he was at Chelsea Academy for years.
Listen, I'm going to be brutally honest about Mason Mount. Sorry about my rant again. He isn't even a Chelsea fan. He's a Portsmouth fan. I didn't. Sorry about my shouting. Do you remember that interview? I don't know if anyone in the chat even cares because they're both Man United fans. But do you remember the interview he gave saying, if Chelsea and Portsmouth were playing each other, who would you support? And he said Portsmouth. So that should tell you all you need to know. He doesn't love Chelsea.
He loves Chelsea as long as he gets paid.
Exactly.
I mean, for me, if I'm going to define a proper Chelsea, this is someone who would literally pay for the club for free. Who would play for nothing because they just love the club. If you ask these academy players, do you want to stay at Chelsea Football Club but you're not going to earn a penny? I guarantee all of them walk out the door and go elsewhere. when shit hits the fan, none of these players actually will play for the club for nothing. The problem is these players, these people, these fans think that these Cobham players are like them when they're not. They might have played at Chelsea, but they might have been at Chelsea for years and years, but it's because Chelsea give them the best opportunity. Some of these players wouldn't be at Chelsea, they'd be at other academies if they just got snipped up in time, or if Chelsea didn't have the biggest reputation in the world in terms of being a good academy. That is the prime reason why players come to this club, and it won't stop. Talents are not going to not sign for Chelsea just because they get sold on to other clubs. If there's the academy, I would sell the point that we go, look, wherever you get a sign at, if you go to, say, Man United academy, you either succeed at Man United or you don't succeed at all. Rarely do any Man United products actually go anywhere and do something. And normally it's off the back of having just to lead themselves on free. Whereas Chelsea will provide you a pathway wherever you want to go.
Friends at Bayer Leverkusen. I think Angel Gomez.
Angel Gomez, there's a couple of examples, but there's nowhere near the examples that you could say about Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea Football Club, it just brings talent through like an absolute conveyor belt. And obviously what Chelsea do is they'll pick the best talent. Just like with football transfers, theoretically, you pick the best talents that you want. We're just doing that at an academy level, and that's what happens. The sooner you realise, I mean, people have got to realise Roman didn't bring anyone through until it came to the transfer ban, where we were forced to bring people through, and people were stuck in that time thinking that's what football is. That's not football. That was the lockdown season. That was the most screwed up season in the history of football. That season will never happen again. People need to get this into their skulls. And unfortunately, they don't. And sometimes, I'm sorry to say it like this, you can't fix stupid.
Exactly. But did you know the interview I was ranting on about, in which Mason Mount said if Chelsea were to play Portsmouth, who he would support?
I haven't seen the specific interview, but I'll trust you on it.
Yeah, I saw it. And he also said his dream was to score at Fratton Park.
He can go play for Portsmouth. I mean, at this rate, he might get loaned out to Portsmouth the way he's playing at United. Portsmouth might be his level.
Look, there is no player I'm enjoying a bigger downfall than his. Yeah. Look. Of course he was.
I mean, going back to kind of the best academy of talents, I backed Tomori, Reece James, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Anyone else? At the time, I really liked Jeremy Boga. And anyone else? I had a soft spot for Charlie Masunda, but I knew he was too injury prone at the time. But they're the only academy talents that I've looked at and gone, wow. Mark Gay, to a point, I could understand it, but I hadn't seen enough at that point. But there's not many talents I've looked on and gone, wow. And that's when you arguably you get it's once every couple of years you get a talent that you go, yes, we need to bring this talent through. And arguably it's a little bit more obvious now recently because academies don't just bring English talents through now. They scavenge players from abroad.
Yeah, for example, we got Casady from Inter Milan.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not even talking about like people like Andres Christensen. Who else? You've got.
I was really hoping he'd stay a one-club man.
Huh?
I was really hoping he'd stay a one-club man.
Who? Christensen?
Yeah.
I didn't rate Christensen at all. I was happy to let him go. I was desperate to keep Antonio Rudiger.
Yeah, I was desperate to keep him as well.
But
apparently-
Andres Christensen, just don't slam the door on the way out.
Here's something. Look, I don't know if you saw my tweet about saying everyone who's slandering Clear Lake for only hiring yes men. You know who else only hired yes men? Roman Abramovich.
I don't know if I agree. I saw your tweet and I didn't agree with it personally, but I mean, Roman does what he wants, but that doesn't mean the people below him are yes men. I mean, well, actually, no. Let me clarify this. Pre-Marina Granskaya, because Marina Granskaya did exactly what Roman wanted. But I caveat that as a different situation because he couldn't actually be hands-on with the club because of his visa issues. It was like, Marina, I want you to do this, and I'm going to tell you to do this. So I can understand that a little bit more. But I don't think if you look at the sport, like Eminado was not a yes man for Roman.
Do you think the term is overused though?
Jose Mourinho wasn't a yes. Yes, the term is definitely overused. Jose Mourinho wasn't a yes man. Carlo Ancelotti wasn't a yes man.
That's why they. But they
Conte
got sacked.
wasn't.
They all three of them got sacked.
Well, every Chelsea manager got sacked at one point. Does that make a point? Does that really make a difference? Sarri definitely wasn't a yes man. The only person you could legitimately say was a yes man in the Roman managers was AVB, but he went and did his own thing. That Roman just looked and went, "What are you doing, son?" Frank Lampard would be a yes man. And what's his name? What's his name? What's it? Came after Mourinho. Cost us the treble. Absolute idiot. Got Portsmouth relegated. Got Portsmouth relegated. And I think got West Ham relegated. He's useless. Oh, what's his name? That's him. Oh, I hated him. Oh, he was the most. If people think they're frustrated with Pochettino, freaking Enzo Maresca, freaking Avram Grant, oh, he makes my blood boil. Oh, we should have. We should have. If we had a competent manager that year, we would have won the treble. I'm telling you. I mean, even with Avram Grant, absolute sheer incompetence, we still got to Champions League final, FA Cup final, second in the league. We were so close in everything, and even I think Terry come out and said, yeah, he wasn't doing fuck all. We were just going out and deciding the tactics in the day. Avram Grant was just sitting there being a babysitter, making sure no one dropped dead or killed themselves or something. He was fucking useless. If we just had someone, anyone, we would have fucking
Do you reckon John Terry will ever end up managing a football club?
I don't think he's that interested. I think he likes to coach. I don't think he likes to manage.
Grant didn't have a coaching license. Bizarre he was even hired.
That was like best. That was like best mates. That you know when you like your best mate is like he's like a manager in a company, and you're like some loser that can't get a job, and he's like, "Do you want a job? Just because I'm the manager and I'm the like owner, and I can give you one." Or he's like, you know when you have a football team and you have like the dad's the coach and the son's playing up front and plays every game, even though he's like the most ridiculously terrible footballer. But because it's his dad, he will always play every single game. That is literally Avram Grant and Roman Abramovich.
And that's literally Frank Lampard with Mason Mount, basically.
It was Pochettino with Conor Gallagher, arguably.
And Kai Havertz was Tuchel's teacher's pet, basically. Why did I say Kai Havertz? Oh my god. Yeah.
Do not.
Fail.
Obviously, honestly, Avram Grant. Just thinking about him gives me heart palpitations. You're gonna kill me mentioning our Avram bloody Grant.
Yeah.
We'll go away from this topic. I don't really want to drop dead at the age of 26.
Ryan said he doesn't even have a coaching license.
He probably didn't at the time.
Wow.
Honestly, he was the most useless waste of space ever. Like everyone goes, oh, but he got this, and this. Because we had the best team on the bloody planet at the time. Literally, these players literally coached themselves.
I would argue the same thing when we reached a Champions League final and won it for the first time.
No, I think there was problems in that team.
So you rated So you thought Di Matteo did?
No, I think Di Matteo rode his manager bounce in the best way possible. At that time, Chelsea had a very good team, but they needed a cheerleader. They needed someone to motivate them, to give motivational speeches. He was that guy. He was like Coach Carter. You watch Coach Carter, Samuel Jackson.
Big up now. Anyway, I want to shout everyone out in the chat. Big up Bath Time, big up Box, big up Czech, big up Melina, and big up Ryan.
No, don't big up Carlito. He's a fraud.
Shoot.
He's a fraud that loves Enzo Fernandez.
Why did
He thinks he's a very fast footballer. He loves Enzo Fernandez and wants to start him every single day of the week. He also, by the way, didn't want to sign Cole Palmer because his hair stinks. I'm just digging him out for all the skeletons in the closet, but there you go.
Great. Why did I big him up?
Because you love Carlito Nippin. It's just, I have to deal with him every Sunday.
I'd really like to debate you one day, Ryan.
About what?
About defending Enzo.
I was being sarcastic. He hates Enzo.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
the only player that I think Carlito dislikes more than Enzo is Conor Gallagher.
Oh, he hates the English in general.
No, I don't. No, because he loves Cole Palmer. He absolutely. I know Elise is technically French, but he is also English as well. He loves Elise. He likes Reece James. He's annoyed that he can't keep fit, but he likes Reece James. So I would fire back on that one.
Of course. I hope I didn't upset you, by the way, Matt.
About what?
Because I bigged up Carlito.
No, I was joking. I was just trolling Carlito in the comments.
Watkins.
Oh yeah, he likes Ollie Watkins, the fraud. Oh, this is an absolute fraud of a player. Purple Patch FC.
Did you celebrate his goal when he scored a 90-minute winner in Dortmund to send us to the final?
Of course I bloody did, because I'm an absolute fickle fan. And I messaged Carlito and said, Ollie Watkins, let's fucking go. And then proceeded to remind Carlito that USA lost to like Panama or whatever they lost.
Was it on the same day? With the
no, I think it happened before, but I just wanted to dig that in because USA, Team USA are crap.
it would have been poetic justice, by the way, if it was on the same day.
It's just a shame that we can't beat the USA when it actually matters, which is the most annoying thing, because then the Carlito just doesn't stop going on about it.
Was he unbearable when we drew against them in the World Cup?
Well, thankfully, we all had like a little bet going on, and thankfully, none of us won, so it was okay. But yeah, I gave it the big one on the podcast and had a bit of egg on my face, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you think selling Kai Havertz? Do you still think we made it was a good idea selling Kai Havertz, given the fact that he had this season, a good season with the Scum?
I mean, he had an okay season, but I don't think it was massively. I don't think it was anything spectacular to make me regret it.
To be fair, he scored twice on our head.
Yeah, but he didn't do that much more than what he did for Chelsea. The difference between Kai Havertz at Chelsea and Kai Havertz at Arsenal is he's just surrounded by better players, which naturally makes you better.
Do you think he'd do well in this Chelsea team?
No. Where does he play?
He doesn't.
Exactly. So why would he do better?
I want to go back to Conor Gallagher. You said he wanted starting player wages when he's only good enough to be a squad player.
Mm-hmm.
How would he start? He's not at Atletico. He can still be a squad player there. I mean, he's not getting in ahead of what's his name now? Yeah, Rodrigo de Paul. He's not getting in ahead of him or any of their other midfielders.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched Atletico Madrid to see whether he's played or not, so I can't judge that definitely. But I know Simeone loves someone like Conor Gallagher, so we'll probably play him a fair amount. And Atletico Madrid are probably going to pay him more, even if he does sit on the bench. The difference is Chelsea have a strict wage structure where if you're sitting on the bench, we're not going to pay you 160k, 170k, 200k, whatever you want is.
I ruffled a few feathers among a lot of idiots on Twitter when I said we need a wage structure. I'm happy with the wage structure.
I'm happy with the wage structure. Do you know how ridiculous our wages have been? And the hilarious thing, I dug it up a little bit the other day. I looked back in like 2017, 18, 19, when everyone was complaining about why we've got so many players on high wages. And it's some of the same people that are complaining that we have people about the wage structure. It's like, well, what do you want? You're just ridiculous. You can't form an actual opinion for more than 5 minutes.
Facts.
I mean, I've always said we need to be in a sensible wage structure.
But do you not think the people who say having a wage structure will turn away the best of the best? Like, for example, players with massive egos.
Well, depends on what you mean by massive ego. I mean, I don't want someone that's got a huge ego that's going to affect.
Well, that certain players now playing for Galatasaray.
I still think Osimhen might still happen, so I'm going to.
Are you serious?
They wouldn't put a break clause in his contract if they didn't think something could happen.
What do you mean a break clause?
So, obviously, it's like we've got with David Datro Fofana, where, obviously, I can't remember. Is it only 6 months? Is he there till January, or is he there for the season? Because I from what I gathered, it's a season-long loan, but there's a break.
I think Osimhen's there till January. I'm not sure about Fofana.
But I know they have a break. I know Fofana's has a break clause where Chelsea can recall him on January 1st if they choose to. And I imagine Osimhen has the same, which means that he'll come back and Napoli will sell him because they still need to sell him. They're not going to let him go for nothing.
Yeah, but that,
and they put a release clause in his contract of 70 million euros.
but that De Laurentiis guy is hard work to deal with.
No, but
Like,
nip
he
in,
doesn't want to keep the player, but he's also making it hard to sell him.
No, but
Make up his mind.
nip in. De Laurentiis wasn't the problem. We'd done the business with De Laurentiis. We were happy to pay Napoli whatever they wanted, which was 60, 70 million. Napoli caved like they did, like Chelsea wanted them to. The problem was with the player, and how far I don't believe either Mikel or the journalist. I don't believe that we were massively far away, but I don't believe that we were just a couple of signatures away. Otherwise, it would have just got done. They would have put a deal sheet in. But I do think we were somewhere in the middle of what the journalists are saying and what Mikel was saying. It wouldn't surprise me if if Jackson goes on and scores like 1 billion goals, then no, they'll probably just go, do you know what, we'll keep Jackson and save some money. But if Jackson is not scoring as many as they want, and we're not getting enough goals all round, they will, and I will say, they will go and try again.
But remember, he wasn't budging for a penny below 200 something.
According to journalists.
Do you think it'll be any different this time, Matt?
Yes, because I think he realises that actually no one was coming in for him. There is no opportunity for him at Saudi anymore.
Yeah, they didn't want him either.
No, but he did. He wanted Chelsea, but him rejecting Chelsea has meant Saudi is not an offer anymore. You don't reject Saudi. Saudi do not come back. Once you reject Saudi once, they don't come back for you. So Saudi's gone for him. So who else is he going to go to?
No other top team will pay his wages.
PSG didn't want. I think he will. His eyes are set on Chelsea, and this 6 months of him playing in Turkey will teach him that you need to be a bit more humble. And I think his wages will. I think he'll go. Actually, we might want to compromise, and that's why.
Do you think it was his fault or his agent?
Well, Nippin, it's no surprise that he sacked his agent.
Do you think his agent caused this?
Now he's sacked his management team and has now got a new agent. Apparently, I think that agent will work to compromise.
Do you think if he didn't have that agent who was basically stirring shit up, do you think the deal would have gotten over the line?
I don't know, because it's a lot of if, buts and maybes. You don't really 100% know this.
Yeah.
It's hard to actually predict what Osimhen's actually, because it depends. It could be that Osimhen really wanted them wages, and that the agents just kind of supplemented that, or it could have been the agent going, if you do what I say and we can make a lot of money together, which is indoctrination from the agent, which agents are dodgy fuckers most of the time. So if it's that, then yeah, of course it could change, but it depends on the agent he's got. If the agent he's got is more sympathetic, which I think logically the next agent will look and go, Chelsea we can't play hard to get because that didn't work. So I need to be a little bit more to get a deal, and to ultimately for that agent to get paid, he needs to compromise a little bit more. I mean, he could take the big risk and go out on a free and try and get mega wages from somewhere. But look at Adrian Rabiot. Rabiot is still a free agent now, and he's now having to compromise his wages to get the club. He couldn't find a club because no one wanted to pay his wages.
Wasn't Man United trying to sign him?
Man United, Liverpool and Arsenal are still looking to sign him. And because he's a free agent, he can move at any time.
But he can't start. He can't play. But wait, he can move there, but Will he be able to play for them before the January transfer window opens?
I think he can. I think he can still get put in the Premier League squad, but I don't think he won't be able to play UEFA. He won't be able to play Champions League for him, or Europa League, whatever it is they're in. Because them squads are already finalised.
Yeah. So, we're reaching the hour mark now. If anyone hasn't liked or commented or shares, please do. I am on the road to 800 right now, but 1K is the target before the end of the year. Hey, what game are you playing, Matt? I saw a controller.
Formula One.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah,
it's something I can just play in the background and.
Yeah. Look, speaking of racing simulators, sometimes when I was on a stream with someone, like some people, I always used to play Gran Turismo in the background with the sound off.
Yeah. It's easy.
Yeah.
Obviously when I'm hosting it's different. I feel when you're hosting it's a bit more you got to be more focused at all times.
Of course. And I apologize for eating on the stream because I didn't have any.
Nipping, it's your stream. It doesn't bother me.
Yes. I don't know why I apologize so much. I'm not Dobby, the house elf. If you know, you know.
Yeah, I know.
So, what are your thoughts on the Bournemouth game? Are you panicking like a lot of other people?
I'm panicking in the sense of who's going to play at right back, and who's going to play in midfield, because it depends. Obviously, it is the problem that when Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez go on international duty, they always come back very late, and they're almost, are they jet lagged? Are they ready? Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. So I don't know. Once I see the lineup, that will settle me down probably. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to? I reckon you're either going to see Disasi at right back, and that means Cucurella will be the sole person inverting, or you're going to see Cucurella move to right back, Vega start on the left to invert, and Cucurella fills in to the defence. If I'm going to go for something fancy, but because of Lavia's injury, I'm against this massively. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Caicedo start at right back. Because I think he'll be the prime. Hold on, he'll be the prime inverter, so he'll be going into the midfield position anyway. And what that means is you can still play Enzo Fernandez, a Dewsbury Hall, but then still play Nkunku, Felix, Palmer as an attacking. It makes the team a bit more attacking, but I think that solution doesn't really work as much because Lavia is injured. So I think the most likely option will Disasi will play at right back.
Do you think Lavia and James will actually be not for this game? I know they're ruled out. Do you think they'll be back for the October fixtures?
Well, he said Lavia is very close. Lavia misses this game, but he's hoping Lavia's back next game.
And Reece?
James, they don't. James, he didn't say next game, but he said he's on his way back. Gusto, I don't know about.
Nice. Good, Malo Gusto. So his injury wasn't that serious then.
I mean, he's not here now, but I don't think it's going to be. It's not long term.
It's not season ending.
No, it's not season ending. Not at all.
Another season ending injury just reminded me of another player. Do you think people are taking those Wesley Fofana comments? Are they taking it too literally?
What comment are you referring
Like
to?
mention Marseille.
I don't get what you mean.
I'll bring it up. Wesley Fofana, Marseille. Oh, it was Wesley Fofana. Oh.
Wesley
There.
Fofana reveals summer offer from European giants amid Chelsea fallout. Well, I just seen it's the Daily Star, so straight away it makes me not believe it.
Mirror.
Oh, or even then, Miro. What is this? What is this fallout?
Oh, I think it was referring to the whole Enzo saga. And I'm not talking about the transfer, I'm talking about something else.
Or maybe that might have been mentioned, but that's all calmed down. I mean, Wesley Fofana started most games for Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea, in terms of Chelsea, Wesley Fofana is in their plans. I think it's just people should just stop talking about it and let in terms of Wesley Fofana and him being a bit slow at the moment. Well, of course, he's coming off a year injured.
Anterior crucial ligament.
Yeah, after having a leg break as well the season before. I think if once Wes gets up and running, he's our best centre back by a distance. And for me, I've said I would play at the moment Wesley Fofana, and Tosin. Eventually, Colwill or Badiashile may overtake Tosin, but I think that is our best centre-back partnership at the moment.
So do you think Jadon Sancho will get any minutes against Bournemouth?
I don't think he'll start. Whether he comes off is another question. After that, I mean, I will give you my predicted lineup now. So I think it's going to be Robert Sanchez in goal, unfortunately. I think it's going to be Cucurella. I think it's going to be Colwill. I think it's going to be Wesley Fofana. And I think it's going to be Axel Disasi.
Okay.
I think the midfield will be Caicedo, Enzo, and Cuckoo. On the left, you will have Pedro Neto. Oh, sorry, no. Ignore me. It's going to be on the left, Pedro Neto. The attacking midfielder, it's not going to be in Cuckoo. It's probably going to be Palmer. On the right, it's going to be Madueke. And up front is Jackson.
So why is so you're saying Nkunku isn't good enough to start?
No, I'm saying Madueke scored a hat-trick against Wolves, got an assist for England, and is in good form at the moment. So he's currently starting on the right, which means Palmer plays in the middle, and Nkunku is unfortunately forced onto the bench at the moment because I think he could play him on the left, and he has chosen to do that. But for me, I think Nkunku's best position is in the middle, and I'd prefer to have Neto starting, who provides a bit more natural width on that side.
Do you think Jadon Sancho was a pointless loan?
I mean, I don't get the signing personally, but I'm willing to be proved wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the fee that we're getting him for is a decent fee. So I can understand in a business sense why this signing would make sense. And it's a potential opportunistic signing. Kind of like how, not in the same way, but kind of like how Mark Gui was signed for $6 million. because Chelsea took advantage of the fact that he wasn't yet on a pro contract with Barcelona, which means with their academy players, when they sign the academy contracts, their release clauses are like 5-6 million. But as soon as they sign a pro contract with Barcelona, they put some ridiculous release clause in.
Yeah, brilliant.
So we took advantage that Mark Gui hadn't exactly signed his contract yet, and Chelsea activated the release clause, and Gui chose to come to us. I think with Sancho, Chelsea are taking the fact that they can get Sancho on reduced wages and for a very cheap £23 million, which if Sancho does okay or pretty good, Chelsea should be able to sell him in the future for potentially double that. So again, it's more of this FFP balancing the books. Huh?
So like what, 50 to 60 million pounds?
Even if it's 45 to 50. Do
you not think Premier League tax will be paid and will be taken into account as well?
Depends on how well he does. I mean, this is me thinking if he plays very well, then he may well stay. But I think when you've got players like Kendry Paez and Estavio coming in next summer, who, by the way, people keep saying, "Oh, what are we going to do next summer?" I think they will both go out on loan.
Kendry Paez and
both. I think they will both go out on loan.
Well, do you think they'll eventually be sold?
Unlikely. I think they're regarded. I think it's him. It's them two. Andre Santos. That are players that I think they look at and go, they will be in the Chelsea team at some point. I mean, I think Andre Santos comes into the central midfield position next season. Because at the moment at Strasbourg, he is doing very well. Very well. And he's he's made an instantly fantastic decision to go out on loan again, prove himself, and then come into that squad. Like next season, our midfield is going to be Caicedo, Lavia, Enzo, Santos, and then the attacking midfielders, which is already in a plethora. That is.
Palmer eventually hold bench.
When did I say that?
So wait, where will he play if that's the midfield you're going to go with next?
No, I'm not saying all of them players will start. I'm saying that's the midfield depth that we'll have.
Yeah.
Which is an insane. But that is, I dare say it, that if they're all playing on form and playing well, that is a future title-winning midfield depth.
Nice.
Like the question mark is Enzo Fernandez, and I do think Chelsea may look to cut their losses of Enzo eventually. Because for me, and I agree with Carlito with this, he is simply not fast enough. He gets caught in transitions way too much for my liking, and he's not a very good defender. And unlike Fabregas, we haven't at the moment got someone who can cover for his faults as a defensive mid. I don't like to use a deep line playmaker.
You don't think Lavia can cover if he messes things up in possession? No?
Not at Lavia's level. I think Lavia is in the future maybe, but Lavia is very young, and I think he's still learning the role. I think you need the reason Fabregas works so much is because you had Matic next to him, who is an experienced pro, an absolute destroyer, who would have let Fabregas do his thing and cover him for it. I don't think we have a Matic signing.
Do you think Kante would have done the same thing? Like covered for Enzo's defensive...
Arguably not. It didn't really work with Kante and Fabregas because Kante likes to roam forward. He doesn't like to sit.
I thought Kante was a DM though. Was a defensive midfielder.
No. Kante went forward. in the trans. Obviously, Leicester played in a counter-attacking system. So Kante looked like he sat, but it was Danny Drinkwater that really sat, and Kante would go up in the counter-attack. The thing is, Kante is like Kante is what everyone thinks Gallagher is. In terms of he's got absolute engine where he's all over the pitch, making tackles and interceptions fun and instigating counter-attacks.
Then why does...
But he never sat at Leicester. That's why he covers so much distance, because he doesn't sit. He's all over the pitch.
So he didn't do it for France either then, no?
No. They had
Matuidi doing that, didn't they?
No, but that's why Blaise Matuidi was the one that sat.
Would you have taken him in his prime, Blaise Matuidi?
I did, but I preferred Verratti personally. And I think we massively. This is like the current sporting directors have made their mistakes, but the one thing I've seen in recent years that I will never forgive a sporting director for is Marina Granovskaya looking at Tchouaméni and saying he's not ready. Oh, I know, we're going to go for Sal Niguez on loan. While in the same summer buying Lukaku for 100 million.
I don't know how many face palms I've done in this stream.
Can you understand why these sporting directors get such shit, which for some of it they deserve and some of it they don't? Yet how little shit Marina Granovskaya got. I was on Twitter through that time period, and I was very much in a small minority that was saying Marina Granovskaya was not good enough as a sporting director.
Would you say she's worse than Stewart and Winstanley?
I wouldn't say she's worse, but I wouldn't say she was much better either.
It's basically trash versus garbage then, isn't it?
Well, I'd argue, actually, whether it's the owners or the sporting directors, they were much better at selling. Because Marina got her wonderful Eden Hazard sell, which was fantastic. Whoever did that, fantastic. Clearly didn't do anything else with the Alonsos, the Emersons, who we couldn't sell. We couldn't sell at all. Marina was trying to get too high prices, whereas these owners do know how to sell.
Do you think if we had Aurelian Tchouaméni right now, we would have won more trophies?
110%.
Even with Clearlake?
110%. We would have not had anywhere near the amount of troubles we had in midfield if we had a range. We would have literally been a striker away. We would have, dare I say it, we would have not bought Enzo Fernandez or Moses Caicedo if we had Aurelian Tchouaméni. We might have bought one of them, potentially.
But I mean, like if Real Madrid come calling, I mean, you're obviously gonna. I mean, who says no to? I mean, unless you're from Barcelona's academy, who really says no to Real Madrid?
No, but you're assuming that we has Watkins just scored? I think I just see it come on my screen.
Oh God! Calling him a fraud for so long, and he does that.
Of course he does. Mr. Perfect. Ollie Watkins is going to be the bane to my existence. But
so long as he doesn't score against us, I couldn't care less.
Or Aurelian Tchouaméni would have done so much for us. Would have been phenomenal. Absolutely great. The fact it frustrates me that we never signed. And this thing, I get, he's gone to Real Madrid. And would he have chose Real Madrid? Potentially. But we had so much time to do the deal beforehand where we just sat on our hands and waited for Real Madrid to come and do a deal.
Okay. Say if, for argument's sake, Marina decided no. I mean, Marina decided if Marina swallowed her ego and said, you know what? Aurelian, I'm giving you a chance. Let's say we sign him, but then Real Madrid come calling. He's obviously going to jump ship then. He would have jumped ship anyway.
What, as in he signs for us and then goes?
Yeah, like Eden Hazard did.
I mean, potentially, but that's a lot of if, buts, and maybes. They might have looked at because the thing is, he had 1 year. He had not that many years in his contract. If he was on a 5-year deal at Chelsea, he might have gone to Real Madrid, but Chelsea would have commanded an absolute mission of a fee for him to go.
Yeah. Like what? Like more than Real Madrid paid.
Well, we were linked to him for 70 million, weren't we? Around that figure. I think Chelsea would have slapped something like £125 million price tag on him, they would have said to Florentino Perez, "If you want to pay that, be my guest. If not, fuck off."
Well, have you ever known Florentino Perez to say no deal and walk straight out the door?
Well, no. Perez might have gone and just flunked the money in cash on the table, which Chelsea would have gone, fine. I've got 125 million to spend on someone else.
Yeah, because when have you ever seen Florentino Perez walk out on a deal? Almost never.
No. But they don't always get their deals. They don't always sign everyone.
But 99.9% of the time, Real Madrid get their way.
Tell that to Neymar Jr.
Remind me who he put. Wait, was it before he signed for Barca?
This is when he signed for Barca. Of
course, when he signed, you can't. That's like playing for both Arsenal and Tottenham. You just don't do it.
Well, no, but this is when Barcelona signed him. So it would I remember this specifically. Barcelona was his first choice. Chelsea was his backup because they bidded the most and were giving him the most money, and then Real Madrid was third choice. So even if you took Barcelona out of the picture, he was probably going to come to Chelsea over Real Madrid. And players will go to players don't. Not all players choose to go to Real Madrid.
By the way, I want to go back to this question that.
Watkins? Can we not talk about?
Vaughan said about Chelsea's signing. Is it worse than Mudryk? Would you say Mudryk has been worse than Anthony?
No, Anthony is a horrific footballer.
To be fair, it's trash versus garbage again, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not I mean, as I said, I've said this before. Mudryk is a fantastic. He's got all the technical ability, all the athleticism to become a world-class footballer. But he is, and I'm saying this in terms of football intelligence, he is brain dead, absolutely brain dead. It's ridiculous how brain dead he is. The way I describe this, it's like Stevie Wonder driving a Ferrari. He's not going to get very far. You've got the best Ferrari. You've got one of the best cars in the world. But if you've got a blind man driving it, it's not going to get much. It's barely going to get up the road.
So basically, he has all the quality but no end product. Is all you're trying to say?
Not even just end product. He just the basic footballing intelligence. He is like footballing. His footballing IQ. There is not a. I don't want to make the comment that I'm thinking, but he's just stupid in terms of footballing intelligence.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably got as much footballing intelligence as Johnny has.
Does Johnny know that? Does Johnny know that either of us exist? Well, he knows.
I've I used to tweet him out. I used to call him out enough times that he's probably at some point seen it.
So far, I haven't been blocked by him.
No, I mean, for me, I think Carlito and me were at one point trying to call him out for a debate because I would have loved to have seen them two go at it. It would have been box office stuff. But Johnny would never take the debate because he knows he would lose.
That's not a good mentality to have.
And that's Johnny for you. He'll sit in his echo chamber and have he talks about yes men, but literally all of his people are yes men. All of his subscribers are yes Johnny.
The term is overused, Matt. The term yes man is overused.
Yeah, I know, but I'm using it in the correct authority.
Of course. I know you are. But a lot of these people on Twitter.
If Johnny said if Johnny said to his subscribers jump, they'd go how high? As simple as that.
But
he has completely indoctrinated his entire fan base, which is fine. He wants to make money off the club and make money off fans like that.
He's the biggest.
Be my guest. Do what you want. You got to put. At the end of the day, you've got to put money on the table to feed your family. Fair enough, but morally, I don't think it's right.
I'm going to tell you something. He is the biggest brown envelope I have seen. He keeps going on about brown envelopes and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious that someone who's getting paid to talk about who's making money off talking about a football club is moaning about brown envelopes in his football club. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. It's the same thing. Like for me, until very recently, have been doing YouTube for years and not got a single penny for it. This is just me doing it as a passion. I am now on a YouTube channel making a little bit of money as part of a deal, but it's just a little bit extra. It's nothing. I'm not going to quit my job or anything for it. It's just a little bit of a thank you for doing it.
For me, I eventually do want to do full-time YouTube, but I know I'm a long way off it, so I'm also being realistic about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in the game to do it full time. I have a job that I like and want to do, and that will hopefully make me a lot of money, enough money that I don't need to do the job.
Fair enough. But yeah, I'm going to give you my lineups now. Oh God. What was it? Yeah. Unfortunately, Jorgensen's injured, right?
I heard he picked up a little injury in the under-21s.
Is it worse than we're thinking, or?
I haven't heard how bad it is, so I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm hoping it's not bad, but you never know.
Yeah. So my lineup is, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with the same as you, Robert Sanchez. I just don't trust the guy to hit a. Just don't trust the guy at all.
Who don't you trust?
Robert Sanchez.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust.
I could throw in.
I couldn't trust Robert Sanchez to blow up a balloon properly, let alone be a professional goalkeeper.
So yeah, unfortunately, Robert Sanchez. At left back, Marco Correa. At right back, Malagusto's not back, is he?
No.
Yeah. At right back, I'm gonna go with then Disasi. The two centre backs, my preferred choices are going to. I'm going with my preferred lineup, by the way, not what I think's going to happen. Adebayo and Fofana.
Okay, fair enough.
And the midfield, Enzo, Caicedo, and Palmer. And the front three, Noni, Jackson, and on the other side, I don't want to play Mudryk.
You can play Neto.
And I'm going to play Neto on that.
Yeah, you can. Mudryk doesn't even make the bench. I mean, I don't know where Mudryk plays for me.
He won't play.
Because I would rather play Felix or Nkuku on that left side. Heck, I'd rather play Sancho on that side.
Same. Do you think that people are just putting Enzo's just putting Mudryk on the bench because the club are telling him to, or he actually rates him?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I honestly don't have a opinion based off actual fact of whether I do or do not. I have no clue.
Okay. By the way, before I'm just going to say it in the private chat.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
You might have heard the thing. You might have heard what I was mouthing under my breath.
No, I've seen the chat. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's the lineup I'm going for.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a decent lineup. I mean, I kind of said the one that I think will play, which obviously my difference was Tosin. Well, I put Cole instead of Tosin, but I would probably prefer Tosin over Cole.
Why is he not playing Tosin then?
Because I think he wants to play a left-sided centre back, a left-footed centre back. I mean, which would be one of Badish or Cole.
Do you see Enzo potentially winning us the Premier League?
Maresca?
Yeah, Enzo Maresca.
No.
Or will it be the manager after him?
I don't know when Chelsea. I don't see personally Chelsea winning the Premier League for a while.
Do you think we'll overtake Arsenal?
It depends. I think Arsenal can fall apart eventually. It depends on how Chelsea winning the league depends on a number of factors. The whole City scenario in terms of one, does Pep stay? Does Pep go? Two, does City get any punishment via the 115 charges, which starts on Monday, by the way, the hearing. So please, everyone, stay tuned on that. But it depends on that because that is a big factor. If Pep stays for many years and Man City do not get punished, Man City will dominate this decade. So I can't realistically say Chelsea will definitely win a league in the next 10 years. It also depends on how Arsenal and Liverpool do. I don't think Slot will do very well. I don't think Slot will do as well as people are thinking. And I'm waiting for the Arteta scenario to boil off It could happen, it could not. Depends. Because I think there will be pressure on him if he doesn't do anything this season.
What did he need? I've said this so many times. Is a Juventus-style punishment in which they get banished into the Championship for a season and they have to work their way back up.
Nippin, I would go as far as banishing them from the Football League. Start in the bloody National League.
So basically liquidate them.
You wouldn't liquidate them because the owners, they obviously they all have to sell every bloody player.
Captain calling you evil.
Huh?
Captain Motion is calling you evil.
Why am I evil?
He said
they have 115 charges. If more than half of them are guilty of, they should get one of the harshest punishments on the planet, which would be coming out of the Football League.
Juventus's charges, these.
Yeah, but how many charges did Juventus actually have at the time?
I think it was quite a lot.
But it wasn't 115.
Enough to banish them, enough to give them an automatic relegation.
But what you got to think is that Italy have 3 leagues, 3 professional leagues.
Serie C.
Yeah, they have 3 professional leagues. We have 4. So effectively, they've promoting them to they've promoted to Serie B, but that's like demoting them to Championship / League 1. So if you want to give them a harsher punishment, that's League 2 or Football National League. And for me, taking them out of the EFL probably don't want to deal with them. So they just chuck them into the National League and go, you can fix yourself from there. That would mean Manchester City would have to sell every bloody player that they've got. They would have to lose most of their sponsorships, but the ownership will probably still stick with it and build it back up because they've got money for fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it'll be a punishment. They will.
At the end of the day, it'll be
doing that will not kill the football club. If you did that to a Chelsea or Arsenal, that would kill the football club because these owners would be off before you could say, I'm sorry. But Man City's owners will probably stick around.
Yeah. So yeah,
but they deserve everything that's coming to them. And this is not a thing. I feel very sorry for Man City fans in this situation because they do not deserve this punishment. But unfortunately, you have to punish these things in the most severe way to ensure that this never happens again. If Manchester City get put down into the National League, no club will even bother they won't even come into their head of doing this ever again. If you demote them to even the Championship, clubs might take the risk because they think, oh, if we get caught, we get down to the Championship, but look how many Premier League clubs get promoted straight away. Man City would just get still a half decent team from their academy and get promoted next year, and then they're back, and then they can just sign as many players as they bloody want again.
So basically, you're saying that Championship, an automatic relegation to the Championship, isn't a big enough punishment?
No.
Half the squad will leave.
Good. That is the point. Half of that squad was effectively bought illegally with illegal money. So, by definition, destroying my aim is to destroy that whole squad. And it's unfortunate, and I feel again, I have massive sympathy for the fans because they don't deserve this. But they've got to look at their owners and scrutinise their own owners for doing this. Just like if we get a transfer ban or some sort of points deduction because of Roman stuff, I will come hard on Roman. Massively.
So many of our fans already are.
And to right, if he's guilty of it, considering this is not his first offence of being dodgy. Plus the fact, arguably, if you want to believe what the sanctions said, this is not even his second offence. This would be his third. This is the whole baseball. 1, 2, 3, and you're out. Strike. You're out. You've had your 3 strikes. You're gone.
Did you know that eventually Roman was going to sell up?
I don't. I didn't know what Roman. I thought Roman would hand it to one of his kids, personally.
Well, Roman trusted Clear Lake.
Well, yeah, but he had to sell.
Naturally. So, score prediction. Wait.
2-1 Chelsea.
Oh, I'm going to play it safe. 1-1 or 2-1 Chelsea. One of them.
And I do think it will be Chelsea go 1-0 up, Chelsea go 1-1, Chelsea go 2-1.
Oh, because I see Bournemouth scoring first, us levelling, and then us taking the lead.
Oh, I didn't want to give us that much of a heart attack, but
yeah,
I think we'll win.
Yeah, me too.
But,
so, everyone, just seeing who's right now. So yeah, I'm going, and yeah, I think that's everything. I think we've covered everything now.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, Matt, where can people find you?
So you can find me at MattJBall98 on Twitter. I'm now verified, which is nice. You can find me at the Blue Code Project podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast. I do not run the Twitter channel. Someone asked me that before. Nope, that is solely down to Carlito. Them opinions on that Twitter page are not my own necessarily. And then you can also find me at Chelsea's Perspective in his members only content. So if you want to see more of me on YouTube, sign up to Chelsea's Perspective as a member to see me once a week on Thursdays between 5 and 7. Big up to everyone that does. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone. Big up to everyone. Nippin is on the phone, so I'll carry on speaking. Is he off? Here you go.
And you can find me on all those socials below for a sorry, you can find me on all those socials below, and you can also find me as a I'm losing my thought. You can find me on all those socials below, and you can find me as an occasional caller on Football Carnage TV, and you can also find me as a cameoist on Worldwide Chelsea. Big up yourself, and you can go and subscribe to Football Carnage TV and Worldwide Chelsea, and I shall see you all in the next video. Come on, you Blues. What were you trying to say, Matt?